Going on, Met fans, guys? What's going on? At the end of the day, guys, the Mets lost the game yesterday, but I want to talk about the at bats. I want to talk about Juan Soto. I want to talk about Mark Vientos, Brandon Nimmo, Lindor. You know these guys. Luis Angel Acuna. It wasn't a great day for the New York Mets against the Astros. The first game, game one, it wasn't a great day because you didn't get the W. The Mets wanted to get the W. They wanted to make a statement. And, at the end of the day, baseball moves on, goes day by day. You're going to have more games. You're going to have more opportunities. And Juan Soto struck out in one of the biggest moments in the game. Obviously, the last moment in the game, he struck out to Josh Hader and that nasty slider. But what I want to say is Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes, he had a start. He pitched okay. The defense was shoddy. I was not a fan of the real. There was some mistakes with the defense. And obviously we know that Luis Angel Acuna and Mark Vientos haven't played a lot together. Obviously in the major leagues. Now they played in AAA. They've played in, the minor leagues, but not really the major leagues. And now Luis Angel Acuna getting that first start. Second base, he was excited, and he overthrew a ball. And, at the end of the day, it's not the defense's, just the defense's fault because the offense just really didn't show up. The offense just didn't show up in big spots. Mark Vientos grounded into a double play in the first inning or second inning. And what I want to say is when it comes to the offense has to show up. The offense has to show up. If they do not show up, then they're not going to win games. Baseball is a game of runs, and the pitcher can't do everything. So Clay Holmes pitched okay. Did he pitch great? No. Did he pitch okay? Yes, he pitched okay. He allowed 2 runs, earned runs. They allowed a run on the error as well, but when it comes to Clay Holmes, that was his first start in the Mets. That was his first start as a Met, and it went okay. It didn't go horrible, but he was hanging a lot of pitches. He was putting those pitches in spots that I was not really a fan of because it was too much plate. And these guys are major league hitters. You put a ball over the plate, they're going to hit it. So I think when it comes to the New York Mets can't panic here. They got to, rebound and just pick themselves up and try to win the second game. But the first game, that game had a really good at bat in the ninth inning from Luis Angel Acuna, and it was very, very impressive. It was very, very impressive. He stayed in the at bat. He was not chasing. And when he did chase, he was fouling off pitches against Josh Hader, one of the best closers in the game. So I think Luis Angel Acuna is a guy that is going to be a part of this team going forward. Maybe it won't work out. Maybe they'll send him down. I don't know. But Brett Beatty's going to have his chance today as well. But Luis Angel Acuna, that at-bat was just very, very impressive. Very, very, very impressive at-bat. And I really enjoyed it. And he just challenged Josh Hader. Josh Hader was challenging him, and he was not chasing those balls high, which was very impressive for a guy that's 23 years old. This guy is very, very young, and really good at bat from Luis Angel Acuna to get the line moving. And Francisco Lindor came up in a big spot. The bases loaded, and he hit a ball hard, but he hit a ball to center field. It happens. Yes, Francisco Lindor did not get a hit. Yes, are we going to go through another slow start for Francisco Lindor? I have no clue. I hope not. I truly hope not. Because you're playing in the Dome. You're playing in the Houston Astros Stadium. So I don't want to hear any excuses about weather or anything like that. But Juan Soto's at-bats looked good to me. That last at-bat, he did chase that slider. And Josh Hader's one of the best closers in the game. That slider is one of the toughest pitches to lay off. And Juan Soto usually lays off those type of pitches. But maybe he was trying to get big. Maybe he was trying to, show up in a big moment, tie the game or whatever. But we can't overreact here, Met fans. We can't overreact because it's just one game. And Clay Holmes pitched okay. left a lot of pitches over the plate, which he needs to focus on, which he needs to not do that. And then Brandon Nimmo had an at bat in the 8th inning, and that was a big spot. And he, first pitch hitting, hit a pop-up to the center fielder, a liner to the center fielder. So I think when it comes to this game, I feel like the Mets felt the pressure. Obviously, when they lost, once they gave up that first run, they felt some pressure. When it got to the later innings, they felt more pressure. And Framber Valdez was just amazing. He is a guy that is one of the best starters in the game. When he's on, he is on. And that curveball was very, very disgusting for the New York Mets. And you know how the Mets are with lefties, man. Mets and lefties, it gives them a problem. And curveballs give them a problem. It's been like this for years. But what I want to say is Mark Vientos was chasing a lot. He didn't look like the Mark Vientos from last year, but it was just one game. He was chasing, and it looks like Major League teams are going to pitch this guy, Mark Vientos, breaking pitches and not really give him fastballs. So Mark Vientos is going to have to learn to lay off those pitches to be productive in the major leagues. It's going to be a tough season for Mark Vientos. It's going to be an interesting season. Obviously, we know that the sophomore season for major leaguers sometimes it isn't great. Conforto, that's an example. It wasn't great. But I just hope that Mark Vientos can not chase those balls. But that curveball from Framber Valdez is one of the toughest pitches in baseball. So I feel like the Mets, they got to win today, obviously. But yesterday's game, you just got to put that behind you. It was a good game. The bullpen looked pretty good. Brazoban looked good. Danny Young looked okay. And at the end of the day, the Mets are going to have to show that they are one of the best teams in baseball. And they got to show it with the offense and the pitching and the bullpen. So it's not going to be easy, but we will see how this goes, because now there is no spring training. Now they got to play real baseball games. And yes, Clay Holmes looked like, he looked amazing in spring training, but this is not spring training. And you saw that from the first inning with Clay Holmes. You saw it with the first inning. And Clay Holmes is going to have to learn. To be a good pitcher, you're going to have to make big pitches. And you can't lay those pitches over the plate because they're going to get hit by major league hitters. So I just hope for the best when it comes to the Mets. And yeah, man, at the end of the day, let's go Mets. Let's get this win today. And hopefully we get a win on the board. And we win the series, because we need to win this series with Houston. I feel like you want to win the first series of opening weekend or whatever. You want to win the first series. You want to send a message to the league that you are the New York Mets. The Marlins got a damn win, guys. The Marlins got to win. The Phillies got to win, and the Braves lost. I just hope I'm not going to overreact on one loss, but let's see what happens the second game, man. This has been Randy with the Randy Talks Mets channel. You guys are awesome. Have a good one. Let's go Mets. We'll see what happens in the second game.